It's no joke when you choke, so get LifeVac and live. Without breath, there'll be death. So get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live.
LifeVac and live.
We welcome you in the arena, a show that spotlights leaders, warriors, and changemakers who refuse to stand on the sidelines. Brought to you by LifeVac, the simple life-saving device that's helping protect families, veterans, and communities across America. Oh, and by the way, that has just now surpassed 5,000 lives worldwide.
Woo-hoo.
Today, we are honored to welcome two gentlemen in the arena. Mr. Garrett Biss, a retired United States Marine Corps pilot, a man who has flown, fought, and led with distinction and continues to serve as an addiction recovery coach with the same intensity he brought to the cockpit. And we'll also speak with Brian Townsend of Springfield, Missouri, founder of Eagle 6 Training, a premier leader in tactical training, preparedness, and empowering citizens and professionals to operate with confidence in any situation. And he's also the founder of Only 2 Milligrams. Only2mg.com talks about the dangers of drugs as well. Get ready, because these two know what it means to step forward, take responsibility, and live in the arena. Hey, everyone, I'm Rick Fatscher, along with Arthur Lee, CEO, inventor of the LifeVac.
5,000 this week.
Amazing, huh?
Did you when you were doing your
And
numbers?
Patrick
when
O'Rourke.
You started here. What? No, do you remember what? Because you're always good with the numbers. Do you remember?
It was over 3,000. So I met you guys. It was after 3,000.
Yeah.
But I was trying to predict all
2,000 lives since then.
and it hasn't been long.
It's just
A couple months.
Well,
5,
you
6
follow
months, 4
you
months.
follow the chart. So 2016, 4, and then it maybe doubled the second year to 8, and now
crazy.
it's exponential growth. It's the kind
Moore's
of growth.
law of relativity.
It's fantastic.
So it's going to double now this year. We're going to get 10,000.
I'm
by the
looking
end of
forward
next
to
year.
that. It was funny. We had the little celebration today, and we had numbers: 3,000 kids and 5,000 lives. And when I came back in, someone had made it 35,000 lives, and I'm like, all right, I like
Pretty
it.
soon.
That is
And it was
next.
they had a little birthday for me, and I blew out the candle, and I said, does anyone know what I wish for? And Don Marie's like 10,000 lives. I said, that's what I wish for.
Well, listen. Remember McDonald's? It used to be like,
Yeah, billions.
1,700 served. Yeah, then it was a million. Now it's going to be LifeVac.
Yes.
Or people just stop choking altogether.
Well, that'd work.
Because
That'd
we're
be
saving
fine. as
Either
long as I
way,
don't live, I
however the
don't
public
care.
decides
Exactly.
to take part,
Unfortunately,
we want to
that would be,
eliminate
I
it.
think, harder to do. To just get people
Yes.
to stop
Get
choking.
people off the McDonald's.
I can't invent that in my
Choking on
garage.
So let's meet Garrett Biss.
Yeah,
Garrett
this
Biss.
is awesome.
Enter. Welcome to in the arena.
Well, you just zoomed me up to New York so fast. I'm a little startled there for a second, but it's great. I'm grateful to be here.
No, we're awesome, and we're grateful to have you. Thank you.
Yeah, Garrett, listen, you talk a lot about purpose, right? When did you first get find a real sense of a mission beyond your career, military career?
Yeah, it's a great question. So honestly, as I was transitioning out from the military, I had a purpose, and still something I pursue a little bit, which is helping affect with the global water crisis or making a positive impact there. And then as I transitioned out of the military, and sadly and unfortunately went through a very dark period of time, which is a common story for a lot of military veterans as they transition from service. And as I navigated that journey and began to find some tools and resources and great coaching and mentoring to guide me kind of out of that hole that I was in, along that journey, I was really always looking back at trying to understand okay, how did I fall into that hole? What is going on here? Why are so many other veterans also experiencing similar challenges? And as I began to gain some clarity about what my journey into that darkness was and how I was finding or navigating a way out, it really inspired me to kind of share the insight that I had gained, that it either helped me directly or I saw helping other individuals, just to help them avoid that, avoid those challenges, avoid that the struggle, and avoid the loneliness and the isolation that can be a big part of it, or a real compounding factor to that.
You got this third question here has really been the one that's I'm aching to know.
Well, we'll get to that. I mean, the numbers are staggering.
Okay.
1 in 5 post 9/11 veterans will have post-traumatic stress disorder. 20 to 40 veterans commit suicide each day.
Well, I guess here's the
not
question.
alone.
I guess the start, right? You said you went down the rabbit hole a bit. What is it, do you think, that creates? Is it the lack of camaraderie or purpose? What is it that we kind of could prep our veterans better prior to leaving the military?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, in preparation for you asking that question today, last April, I did a TEDx talk that really, tried to capture that as best I could in 10 minutes. And the short of it is, what I understand is that we as humans, we have basic fundamental human needs for our emotional and mental well-being. And top of that list is our need for connection. We're biologically hardwired for connection. With that need for connection, we also have a need for authenticity. It means that we have this need to be able to show up in relationships or environments and express our true self, to share how we feel, ask for what we need, and not fear that it will jeopardize that connection. And then lastly, we have a fundamental need for meaning. So I sometimes think meaning and purpose are not the same thing, but very closely correlated. And what I understand of meaning is that it's not just something that can add flavor and context to our life. But what I learned through the work of Dr. Viktor Frankl, he wrote The Man's Search for Meaning. What I learned from his work was that meaning is also what provides our capacity to endure suffering. So a lot of the challenges and obstacles that we have to navigate in our life, it's really that sense of meaning that we have that gives us the capacity to do it. So in a very quick and rapid transition, not prepared for it, every service member loses the way that they've come to meet the fundamental needs for connection, for authenticity, and for meaning. And I think hardest of all is this kind of unexpected and abrupt nature of that.
Yeah.
And that was the real reason for the TEDx talk, was to, of course, help other people who know and love veterans better understand some of the challenges they go through. But I really wanted to reach other veterans that were in a place like myself, where I woke up, I realized that things were not okay. Something was missing. There was a void inside. Life seemed to be a lot harder than it should. And I had no idea how I got there. So I think sometimes the struggles that we face can be hardest when we don't know where they come from. If we were to go and exercise really hard or go for a long walk and we were sore the next day, that would make sense to us. And because we knew why we were in that discomfort, we'd also have hope that things could get better. But when you find yourself in that pain or in that discomfort and you have no idea how you got there, it can be really hard to have any kind of hope that things will get better. And I think that's what leads, and it really either leads to some of the mental health challenges and the struggles with substances, or it's the catalyst that makes any struggle that you're facing that much worse.
I think there's almost similarity to, I was in an accident. I lost my two best friends like that. You develop these deep bonds, right? With your team, with your teammates, your soulmates, your life on the line with these guys. And then in an instant, they're gone. It's almost like, a traumatic death. Right? You're in this environment of trust and mutual respect and teamwork, and all of a sudden, boom, you're back in, wherever, and you don't have that blood brother next to you. Is that part of what you felt or see?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a big part of it. I mean, I always share the experience through the lens of the veteran experience, because that's what I went through and that's what I understand the most. But we, all humans have this fundamental need for connection, and in some relationships or in some professions, there's a really deep sense of connection and bonding that's created, whether that's professional athletes, whether that's first responders, whether that's veterans.
Athletes too.
And when you lose that, I mean, in the military, we express our sense of devotion and connection to others, either implicitly or explicitly, that I would run into battle with you by my side. Right. I would go into harm's way. And if it comes to it, I would even jeopardize my own safety and well-being to protect yours. When that's the way that you've met your need for connection and then you lose it, it's really a fun, there's a dramatic shift that happens inside of you. As I said, we're biologically hardwired for connection. And when you lose the depth of connection that you have, it's actually been shown recently that a lack of proper social connection has the same or similar adverse effects on your health as smoking 15 cigarettes or drinking 6 or more alcoholic beverages every day. That's no secret that that's bad for your health, but that's the same that a lack of proper social connection can have.
Now, is there any decommissioning of our veterans that happens
structured
where they
now?
address this, saying you're going to leave? It's going to be tricky because you're going to lose some of your best friends, basically, that you've developed these deep bonds, the structure, the commitment, the goals. Is there something that we decommission guys with?
So there's a little bit of kind of process or transition training that happens. And sadly, it's mostly focused on regaining a new profession. So finding some new means to make a living.
And the stats of leaving, and the stats of leaving that first job, I hear, are off the charts.
Right. That's right. Yeah. 60 to 90% within the first year. And sometimes that comes from just thinking that you're taking the next with no other level of awareness. If you've never been through something like this, you're not really aware of the fact that you're going to lose all of these things, and it might have such a profound sense on your identity, on your sense of safety and security. So with nothing else to aim for, a lot of individuals, they get out of the military and they think, hey, I got to replace a paycheck. What's the best way to do that? And with maybe not enough intention, or with with a little just uncertainty about what they need to lean into. And I think everybody here, and even the next guest, we have found through our life experiences that one of the best things that we can do is lean into something that provides a great sense of purpose to us.
A mission, a cause. The question, though, it seems that you kind of get blindsided, right? You're not thinking, oh, I'm not going to see these guys, and I'm sure there's a lot of joy. Hey, I'm out, but I think it collapses real quick, but I don't see the ability to kind of see that cloud forming without some education that this cloud is going to come. Get used to, be prepared. Don't you think that's kind of something that needs to be addressed that way?
Yeah, absolutely. And, and there's a lot of barriers to, there's a lot of reasons it's harder to kind of penetrate with that message. I mean, for one, when you're in the service, you're owned by the DOD or the Department of War. As soon as you get out, now you're really, you're a part of the Veterans Affairs or the VA. So there's a little bit of disconnect in who owns you, if that makes sense, from before and after the transition. There's also another element, and I think we need to get back into and speak more and share more of these stories with the active duty service members to help them become aware of the fact that they're going to face some of these challenges.
Yeah.
But I think part of our human nature is we don't understand the magnitude of something until we've been, till we've kind of gone through and tasted some of that experience. People told me college was going to be hard. I didn't understand it till I was there. People told me some other projects I would do would be difficult.
I think about
we don't get an appreciation for it. Man.
Yeah, I think about childbirth often in these terms, where you had 9 months to really prepare yourself and get ready for it, and then it comes and you're completely blindsided and don't know what's going on, which end is up, when you're going to sleep next. How do veterans reach you, or more importantly, how do you reach veterans that are in need?
Yeah, great question. So one of the best platforms to reach me on is LinkedIn, and I can share that with you if you want to provide that in the show notes. But for anybody that's interested in a little bit more about this, what I really understand is the trauma of military transition. In many ways, just that transition itself is traumatic, regardless of what a veteran experienced while they were in the service. They can go watch my TEDx talk. It's about 10 minutes long. It really kind of shares a little bit more of my personal journey and the message that I want all service members and all veterans to hear, so that, if nothing else, they might feel a little bit less alone in the journey or the struggles that they have. And then I have a great free resource that I put together for any veterans. It's, my last 10 years of coaching and working in the mental health space as a coach and a consultant. 4 of the daily practices that I found to be most efficacious at helping regain a sense of a mental and emotional kind of strong foundation or strengthened foundation. I'm going to share those through a program called the Warrior Reset that's available free to any of your listeners. So they can just go to thewarriorreset.com and get a little taste of the work that I do and enjoy a free resource.
Have you made any progress or attempts at making this mandatory? When you leave the hospital, you got to talk
discharge
to them.
planning.
Yeah.
Deprogramming almost.
Or even if it was just, we said, look, just let them watch this TED Talk and know these 2 resources and not, one at a time. Like, that's standard. Is there any, do you see that? Would that help, do you think?
Yeah, I'm making a little bit of headway in that. I mean, it's a challenge, because that's not really their even those that are in the Department of War actively, they don't many times understand some of that challenge. So that's why I did the TEDx talk. I figured, it's a short 10-minute message to get out to people. One of the things I do just as a service for no cost is anybody that has a group of veterans or service members and they want to host a watch party, then what we do is we jump on, we watch the TEDx talk together, and then offer an opportunity for sharing and reflection after that. So I think that's a really kind of powerful way to help people absorb the message and ask questions about it.
Do you think this path would be easier through the VA or through the current
private,
where you're owned by the other guys?
Great question. I think, ideally it'd be on both fronts, maybe a little introduction to it, just like, before you, as you mentioned, child delivery, you go in and have your classes in your first 6 weeks, and then they have support for you after the fact when the reality of the situation, you're like, oh yeah, this is pretty difficult, these sleepless nights and all these
Well,
experts.
if
Talk
we
about that
get-
as a
if we
guy.
could get you, if we could get you to see the part of your discharge, right? When you're signing the papers and you hand it in your gear, that you had to watch at least the TED Talk.
Mhm.
You know, at least give some hint of one, what's going to happen, and two, a resource that's available to you, regardless of, right? We know the VA guys. We got Douglas. He could help us to get that so that it's not a hope they see it.
Right.
This
Right.
is too important for a maybe you'll catch my TED Talk, and then how do you know it exists? If it was mandated, and I would think that the VA and who's the guy in the VA now?
Doug Collins.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
That we
The man of
say,
God.
look, you want to head off some of your expenses and problems, have them watch this ahead of time so you don't have to take it in 2 years when they got alcohol or substance or suicidal
Yeah.
thoughts.
What's been the response to the TED Talk?
Yeah, we got 36,000 views on it. Anytime I've shared it, or I'll do a lot of other presentations that are really that, an hour version of that TED Talk, but I'm getting, great response and feedback. When I'm talking to mental health professionals, this makes so much sense. Why aren't we developing programs specifically for those needs of veterans? That's
Have
the
you
other
met
thing.
with Doug Collins? Have you been to Washington and talked to him about this?
No, I have not yet.
We can help work on that. We got in.
Sure. We
We're-
got it.
Look at us.
Through Brian. And we're going back. We're going back in the new year.
can do it. Anyone can do it. You didn't come with us. You would have
I'll
been
meet you up there, but I
lucky.
love that idea because it'll connect with some people, but at least plant the seed so that when they do experience some challenge later, because every veteran I've talked to, they've gone through some version of the experience that I had. Fortunately for many, it's not as bad, but everybody faces some of that. So if I could just plant the seed so that 6 months later, 2 years later, they're like,
Well,
oh,
they're
I
getting
remember that thing that was
blindsided
mentioned.
right now. You got
Mhm.
blindsided. Who is thinking that I'm going to miss my best friend and the structure and the camaraderie, and I'm going to go work at McDonald's and no one knows me, and who cares? That's a big leap. It's not. It makes complete sense that
Formalize
there's
it.
trouble coming,
Mhm.
particularly because you don't know about these things. But we got to talk off screen. Let's go.
Yeah.
We can do this. We use the same connections. Let's get in front of them.
Isn't he from? You're from
It's
DC,
free.
right? Where
Yeah.
does he live?
Where are you located?
Eastern North Carolina.
North
Eastern
Carolina.
North
Close
Carolina.
enough.
Yes,
Listen, we're in this together now.
But did you University of
Love it.
Maryland? Was that you?
I did. Yes, I did.
Go Terps. I was a Terp.
All
You
right.
are.
That's right.
What the heck's a terp?
Terrapin, a turtle.
It's a turtle that growls like a lion.
University of
But
Maryland.
you're looking less
Exactly.
like a turtle all the time now.
And I look
because
like the
of
inside
your-
of a turtle.
Well, Garrett, we appreciate you so much joining us in
Yeah,
the
we'll
arena.
talk, man.
And we're
We
going to
gotta
talk
do
more. This won't be the last time you hear from
I
us.
appreciate you, and I'll just say one last thing. So you're talking LifeVac, 5,000 lives affected. So I think similarly with addiction recovery, one of the things I'm so passionate about it, because that's not just when I connect with 5,000 people, that's not 5,000 lives that are affected. That's 5,000 plus every family member, plus every neighbor, plus everybody in the community.
Why?
Right
That
on.
5,000 number is a well undersold level of impact that you've made. So I appreciate everything that you're doing there.
man, and that's the
Well
truth.
put.
And that's why
Unspoken
we got to
trauma.
help you too, because that circle is big that gets affected. We save a baby, we save the parents, the grandparents, the community, and it's the same with these. The ability to cut this off with the veterans, so their wives and family and kid don't have to deal with it. So we got to do something. I think
We're in it.
We get back in front of Doug Collins and
Absolutely.
all right, let's do
I
it.
appreciate you.
Oh,
Yeah, bud.
we appreciate you. Thanks so much for joining
Thanks for
us.
your
Keep up the
service.
good work.
And we'll talk soon. And we'll be back with more in the arena after this.
Protect your family. Buy LifeVac now.
Thank you, Daddy.
That was us over 10 years ago.
Now, LifeVac is responsible for saving over 4,000 lives from choking.
In the time it takes you to pick up the phone and call, another life could be saved.
The LifeVac saved my life in 1 to 2 seconds.
Protecting families has always been our mission. I'm sure you love your family like I love my daughter. Do us all a favor and get your own LifeVac now.
Go to lifevac.net or call 877-LifeVac. Order now.
Welcome back in the arena. I remain Rick Fatscher, along
Man,
with
that was
Arthur
awesome.
Lee and Pat O'Rourke. And yeah, we continue week in, week out, connect with such great people in their own arenas. And it's inspiring to know that there's more work to be done.
Yeah,
And
but
he
there's
knows it.
simple. Just have the guys
Simple
have
fixes.
to watch the TED Talk.
No doubt.
It's free. And God wink, we've been to Doug Collins' office, so we could probably weasel our way.
We can get him in. And
And
it's
we'll bring Pat because he's funny.
Well, we get CJ.
Yeah, see, but that's what I
CJ's
mean.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is
Sure,
we're not
CJ would be
asking
interested in this
it's
stuff.
free.
Yeah.
Just put down. You have to sit and watch this video before you leave the military forever.
And ask if you need help. I didn't get a chance to ask the question, but I'm sure family, what you come home to is a big part of it. And, you
Yeah.
hear about those stories where people, don't have the support system.
Well, we
or
need a
they
heads
left.
up. These guys are getting blindsided.
Well, even
Blindsided.
Yeah, I'm
what
out.
Rick's talking about is like the family's prepared. Maybe some training.
Yeah,
for
they
them
should
where,
watch it too.
Okay, don't yell at him. Let him go off on his own.
Right.
I'm sure there's things that they could help them along with these situations.
But I think the problem is that it's no clue that this is coming.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be
I think
great.
he explained it great. Where it's like, you work out, you're sore. You know why you're sore.
Right. There's
He's
a
like,
reason.
they have
Yeah.
pain every day. They don't know why. And
Oh.
so they drink. They do drugs. They
And
lash out.
something we didn't talk about is the stigma that goes along with it. They're too proud. They're
Yeah.
tough Marines,
They train you
Air
as
Force,
a
Army.
killer, a warrior.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the stigma
Well, I was
sticks.
just
The
thinking
stigma
about,
needs to
think
go away.
about it, you lose all your best friends like that.
Yep.
Now you had a friend from Texas and Albuquerque and whatever, and now all of a sudden you're back in Wyoming at McDonald's,
Mm.
and you don't know why you're upset.
You may have lost some of your best friends in battle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Well, you
very
lose them
traumatic.
when you leave. So that right there made me say, we
I
got
lost
to do
mine. I
something.
sold them Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Yes.
Lost all my friends.
Yes.
Brian Townsend
Did you
awaits
push
joining
it?
us. He's having a good chuckle
I'm
in the green
interested
room.
investing.
Brian Townsend,
Tanked.
come on down.
Yeah.
Eagle 6 training
Yeah.
Townsend.
and only 2 milligrams.
And he's a Delaware Bluehead.
Welcome to In the Arena.
He went to Delaware.
He's not a turtle.
He knows
Not a
all of
turtle,
the,
he's a
he
blue
knows
hat.
all of the names for all of the schools.
Brian, what'd you think
Quiz him.
of that talk? First off,
I-
thank you for coming on.
Yeah, and thank you for having me on as well. Great first guest, and also congratulations to you all. 5,000 lives saved. That's remarkable. And like Jared said, that's not just 5,000 people. Those are families positively impacted as well.
true.
So,
Think about it.
Amazing how
communities.
the veteran guys get that right off the bat.
And also, those I always go. Those are the ones that are reported.
Yeah.
There's so many
Yeah,
more.
that's
We have
true, too.
Roadshow Ryan, who's out of all these places and says all the time, people.
He's
call
in
us.
Westchester with Gabby.
He's on the road.
Not, is it official? Can we say that on the air? but he says all the time. People walk up and say, "I didn't report it, but it saved my uncle. It saved my
I love
nephew. It
those.
saved
So
my-" yeah.
those are little gifts.
Yep.
Yeah.
that's amazing.
So, Brian, Eagle 6 training. And of course, we want to talk about your non for profit too. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, tell us about it. About Eagle 6.
Yeah, so I retired from the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA, in 2022, and opened up my own training and consulting business, which is Eagle 6 Training. And I also began working for an intelligence center in the Midwest, and they asked me to develop drug curriculum because of my 30 years in law enforcement, most of that with the DEA. So I was developing various drug curriculum, informant classes, surveillance classes, things like that. And I developed a class on opioids, and it went really well. And you talked about sense of purpose earlier, and I felt like I had to figure out a way to still give back to communities, even though I wasn't wearing a badge and gun, and just give back and have some purpose in life. And I knew that my background, my resume would get people in the room, and it did. And the classes went really well. And ultimately, we just kept on doing them and growing that program. And it led to the development of a 501c3 nonprofit, Only 2MG. Our entire board is retired DEA. I travel across the United States and raise awareness of not only illicit fentanyl, but other public safety threats. And talk to anyone who will listen to me, especially enjoying talking to younger people. I've been to a lot of high schools and colleges and just
Now,
spreading that awareness.
are those talks more about the danger of drugs or more about awareness of protecting, of being conscious of that?
A little of both. I mean, I think about illicit fentanyl, and the reason we call our nonprofit Only 2MG is it's a stark reminder that only 2 milligrams of fentanyl is enough to kill the average human being. So, 2 milligrams, for those not familiar with how small it is, we're talking about a couple granules of salt or sand, right? We're talking about the tip of a pencil.
Right.
And it's found its way, unfortunately, in the majority of our drug supply. And, not just, it took over heroin, but now we see it in methamphetamine, we see it in cocaine, it's all over the pills. And a lot of folks are dying from, especially young people, from first-time drug use. We've never experienced this type of crisis in the drug world. And it's alarming. Just to give you a statistic, the U.S. has been tracking drug overdose deaths since 1968. The first 30 years of tracking this data, we lost about 175,000 people, which is a lot of people, 30 years. In the last 2 years alone, we've lost that many. In fact, we've lost more than that in the last 2 years alone.
Wow.
In 2020, 2003, it was 100,000, 105,000 people. And in 2024, it reduced to about 80,000. And again, just like the lives you saved, we're not talking about just numbers in people. We're talking about those families negatively impacted. And those kids now growing up without a mom and dad.
Yeah, see, that's a common thing, and I appreciate both you and our first guest that understand that it's not just that person, right? We save a veteran from going down a dark hole, or we save someone from fentanyl, we save someone from choking. There's ripple effects, you know. About 120,000 people a year globally choke to death.
Wow.
And it hits me because we're doing it 13 years, so we're talking 1.5 million people have choked to death that didn't have to. But I think the surge and the danger of that grain of sand causing a death is definitely takes a priority in awareness. Now, when you do your talk, is it consciousness that this I almost said a bad word is out there?
You can say it.
Like, really?
Crap.
Oh shit.
Go ahead.
So I didn't say it.
Go ahead. Say
Just
it.
can't say can't.
Yeah, can't's a lie.
Yeah,
dude.
right.
Arthur
Gotta
wrote a
get rid of
book.
that
Sorry,
word.
can't is a lie.
What are the key pieces to that, like the awareness? And I would assume reporting, is that part of the what you do, looking out and finding it and saying, hey, go get them?
Yeah, it's really
What
just
you used to do, right?
what's that? I'm sorry.
I'm saying it's
Well,
what
he
you
used to
to
just
do.
go get them.
Right,
He
right.
didn't have to tell
Yeah,
you, right?
absolutely. I do talk about the enforcement piece, and really, I trying to look at this from a more holistic approach. You know, how we need to all be aware and build these coalitions and fight this this crisis from many angles. But it's about raising awareness of the fact that this drug exists. Only 2 milligrams is enough to kill you. It's in the majority of our illicit drug supply. People are dying at alarming rates, especially young people who are experimenting with drug use, casual drug use, recreational drug use. Everything has changed. The entire drug
Yeah.
landscape has changed
It's
because
more of a
drug.
poisoning, correct? It's not so much people are ODing. It's more that they were killed. Poison.
Absolutely. And in fact, I caution when I use the word overdose because I think it's more appropriate to say drug poisoning. If you look at the statistics of people dying from illicit fentanyl, I think you could easily argue, at least in the early years, that 99% of those people were not looking for fentanyl. They were looking for heroin. They were looking for methamphetamine and cocaine. And I'm not saying those drugs are good, but they shouldn't, any drug for that matter, shouldn't kill you. That should be the consequence for drug use.
Yeah. Are we, Brian, denting the marketplace with the efforts in Venezuela or in the seas outside of Venezuela? Or
a lot of those drugs, a lot of that's cocaine that comes up from that area. The interesting thing about that is we're able to pinpoint our focus on the areas where we know drugs come into the country. Look at the border, for instance. Not to get political, but because of the fact that our border is secure, that like it's never been before. We know that the majority of illicit drugs travel into the United States on the same roads and highways that all of us would travel to and from Mexico. If you're in McAllen to go to Reynosa,
It's not political. It's
Right.
Geography and transportation.
absolutely. It's
If we take a position, though, someone is going to, on the other side, take the position of pro-fentanyl.
No,
They
but
will.
even, like there's TV shows now to catch a smuggler that you just watch at the border every day.
Yeah.
You guys are they're catching everyone at the border. And they're not catching everyone. I hope they're catching most of them, but there's so many drugs coming
Well,
across.
we got to hope that we get better at that. But I think, the current right in our face is what you're addressing, right? It's here,
absolutely.
be aware. And is there, I always was curious about this, right? The guy you get the stuff from, got it from someone, got it from someone, got it from someone, right? The big dog is in there somewhere because you got it. In your education, is there any ability to work up that chain from be aware, if you see this, you can report it this way to get to the big dog?
Absolutely. And that's something we did at DEA. My last few years, our strategic focus was more on the two big dogs, the Sinaloa cartel and the Cartel Jalisco, the two major transnational criminal organizations or drug cartels that are bringing the majority of fentanyl into the United States. So the focus is definitely on those two organizations and all high level traffickers, but for certain.
Is there a way the man in the arena, the father who knows that there's a guy on the street or his kid bought some and now he's God willing, he didn't die, and he says we got to do something. Is there like a pipeline to get to you, your former life, or even you now, to say work your way up the chain? I got the
Dealer.
the Z squad.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
is there
the end
something
result.
that we could do as people in the arena to help you guys move up that chain, like a anonymous reporting or something?
We have to change the stigma. The problem with, I talk, some of the stuff I do is drug induced homicides. And I encourage law enforcement to look at these drug poisonings as homicides.
Right.
And it's an opportunity to, to honor the victim and also to make people accountable for selling these poisons, because that's exactly what they're doing. The problem is, and this exists in the law enforcement arena as well, there's a stigma to drug use. We look at it as our society as a moral failing, and it's often not investigated with the same attention, if you will, to, let's say, the typical homicide investigation. And
Yeah, but fentanyl has changed that, because you smoke I'd smoke weed in college. It was
Well, you got kids studying for tests in college dropping dead because they took
right,
a pill for the first time.
Yeah, and they're just trying to study harder and longer, and there's all degrees, but it's changed it from you smoke a joint with your friends and talk about stars colliding, but now you die. So we got to pick it up a notch to kind of try and work up that chain. No,
I absolutely agree. And the problem is, the only time we ever really see that is when a celebrity dies. And I'm not taking, their life's important too, but the problem is, look at all the resources we put into, I'm at a loss for the Friends actor,
Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry. And I'm not saying, I'm glad that those people are being held accountable. I think that's a wonderful thing. But how about, I talked to a father not too long ago who lost his son. How about that dealer?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
What resources are going to that? And I know that, it's a struggle. I can tell you that. I know there's a lot of law enforcement officers that are working it, but there's more work to do.
Brian, do we know from a percentage standpoint how much of it is starting at the source, the fentanyl being added, versus at the end, the corner drug dealer?
Not statistically. The majority of fentanyl is being smuggled into the United States,
and then cut,
both pill form and powder form. So there are drug traffickers at the local level who will put fentanyl into their drug supply, but most of that, again, I don't have the statistics, but majority of that is being smuggled into the U.S. with the fentanyl. And we know that, if you can find heroin in the United States, about 75 to 80% of heroin now contains fentanyl. About 41% of all the cocaine seized by law enforcement last year now contains fentanyl. About 17%.
What would you say the motive is on their part, to get a better, like a more addictive product, or is it to poison?
No, it's absolutely, well, first of all, it's cheap. We're talking, if you look at the history of fentanyl and why it even got into our drug supply, they needed a cut for heroin. And it's cheap. We're talking, pennies on the dollar, right, to make a pill. And then it's users will tell you that's a more intense high. It's a more intense experience. So they like that. And then it's also very addictive. So you're a drug trafficker, especially a high-level drug trafficker. What do you want? You want repeat customers. Oh, God. So it's cheap. It's cheap, very potent, very addictive. So
do you see parallels to like the late 70s when heroin, was just decimating New York City? And was there any education from then that could help now? Is it just awareness? Like, this is so stupid and painful.
It's awareness, and we have to change our culture. You want to win the drug war tomorrow, then reduce the demand.
Right.
We can't arrest our way out of this. We can't talk to enough people out of this. We have to reduce. This is a simple supply and demand issue. There is a demand for drugs in this country like no other. We make up 3 or 4% of the world's population, yet we consume the majority of drugs. Wow. That's a problem.
I would imagine your time in the DEA was largely around other opiates. Is fentanyl considered an opiate?
It is. It's an opioid. Yeah. It's just like heroin, except it's 100 times more dangerous. But right. Early on in my career, it was
OxyContin,
Oxy, the Percocets, all the opioids.
Did you have any of those big busts where you got like the whole giant mountain and jumped in and seized it?
we had a few.
That's cool, man.
One of my notable cases,
like Scarface.
Come
on. There's a show on A&E. It's called Undercover, Caught on Tape, and I did an undercover operation back in 2004, and that operation was featured on episode 6 of
Nice.
the.
What'd you get? How much?
That was actually a marijuana operation. It was a marijuana slash methamphetamine operation, and we met a couple. I met a couple of members of a drug cartel. We lured them to Dallas, Texas, and we ended up.
How to get in? Was it like a submarine or an airplane or
just cars? This, like I said, the same roads and highways that you and I drive. Literally from Reynosa into McAllen, and from McAllen right up north. It happens all the time.
Hey, Brian, can you stick around for a moment? We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Brian Townsend in the arena. We'll be back after this.
She started to choke on a piece of candy.
She wasn't breathing.
Then Ray reached for the LifeVac, and it saved her.
She could have easily died that day. A LifeVac saved her life. What I would say is don't need a LifeVac and not have it. Have a LifeVac and hopefully never need it.
Recently, the American Red Cross has added anti-choking devices as an option when standard protocol fails or is not feasible.
Go to lifevac.net or call 877-543-3822.
And we're back in the arena, and these guys are chattering away. Brian Townsend is with us. He's a former DEA agent, and we're talking about the dangers that he encounters with his non-for-profit only 2milligrams.org.com.
Brian,
the
where are you
501(c)(3)
located?
Missouri.
I'm in Missouri. Yeah.
Do you ever get to New York?
I do. I absolutely do. I travel quite a bit. I've taken this presentation, my main presentation, I've taken on the road. I think I've been in 36 states now.
I feel like I've been in 36 in the last 2 days. But you definitely got to come visit us. But here's maybe a potential silver lining. And Pat and I were just talking about this. You know, used to try and say, don't smoke weed, don't do this, don't. Maybe this is a way to say you can't do those anymore. Nothing is safe. So let's just stop it. Do you feel that?
I do. And that's what I tell young people. And I know that's tough. So I get it that they're going to make bad choices, and that the Just Say No campaign wasn't really effective. However, I think if we empower them with information, so when they're in those difficult, conversations or, scenarios, that at least in the back of their mind, they know what the right answer is. And that's something that frustrates me, because I think too many, from my experience talking to young people all across the United States, is I'm not seeing a lot of empowerment. I don't see a lot of knowledge in this particular field. These are conversations that aren't being had at home, and that breaks my heart.
The power of this one was, Just Say No to me was like, yeah, what do you get it lost, you know?
Yeah.
Remember Nancy
telling
Reagan?
Me no is a bad idea at the beginning, because then I go, oh, yeah, I'm going to show you.
Because they told you can't do something.
Right.
You want to know why. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, why?
You'd watch like those psychedelic movies in health, and and
that
then you
looks
wanted
like
to
fun.
try it.
Yeah,
You're
no
like,
kidding.
wow, I got to go do
or
that.
Cheech and Chong. I was like, those guys are hysterical.
Glorifying.
But here's the difference, and the silver lining may be, it's not don't do it because I said so, or it's going to lead to eating a lot of cupcakes. You could die, right? There is now a reason not to touch any of these things.
Absolutely, and the stories are heartbreaking. I can't tell you how many family. I was just talking to an aunt in California a couple weeks ago, and her niece, 20-year-old, just beautiful young girl with a future ahead of her. Her and her girlfriends bought an Adderall pill online.
I was going to ask about Adderall. Very common.
Very common. It was counterfeit.
Online.
Bought it online, very, very common, unfortunately, as well. Split it in 3 pieces. She never woke up after taking her little third of that Adderall pill. Because, again, 2 milligrams. It's easy to conceal 2 milligrams.
Well, I think that's why the title of your foundation is so appropriate and needs to be explained. Yeah. Sadly, it reminds me a lot of a choking death. You just living life. You got a test. You take it out, and all of a sudden you get a message, your kid's gone. And you're like, what? Like the kids that choke in school every year, and your kid goes to school, and then you get a call. Oh, sorry, he's not coming home. But we have to raise the awareness of your title, whatever.
Only 2 milligrams,
right? That's got to be plastered on everything. You can't smoke weed because you could have 1 milligram of fentanyl.
How do we get shirts like that?
Well, you got to come when you come to New York. Come to the Hall of Saves. We got to get some. We got to get some more visibility on this.
Absolutely.
And it's got to stay simple. 2 MGs. You cannot do it. Why? Not because I said so. Not because the movie looks fun. Yeah,
because you could die.
Because you could die.
Yeah. Is most of your audiences schools, corporations? Where do you go and give your talks?
You know, it's interesting. Probably the majority of my my audiences have been law enforcement or first responders, but I will absolutely talk to anyone. I created it's funny. My main, I call it my flagship presentation, is 4 hours long, and I literally it's long. I get it, but
we don't have that much time tonight.
But I cover everything. I mean, we talk about the cartels. I mean, we talk about literally everything. But I had some business contacts that I was working with in my Eagle 6 training, with that hat on, and they were interested in learning more, but they were like, look, Brian, we can't give you 4 hours. That's just too long. So I created a 1 hour lunch and learn. And what's funny is I've never been able to get through an entire, like the slide deck, because the conversation starts. And I've actually had several of those C-suite executives come to the 4 hour because they were so fascinated and they just wanted to learn more and more about it. But, and that's good because those are force multipliers. And that's what I tell anyone who ever listens to me speak is, I'm hoping that, yes, you learn some information, but what I'm really hoping is that you take this information and you share it with your family, you share it with your church, your Rotary Club, whatever voice or circle of influence you have. That's where we make the difference.
Have you ever been on Newsmax or anything else, any form of TV?
I have. I've been on, I think it was Newsmax. It was more cartel, border related.
They love that.
Wasn't Billy Baldwin doing a documentary about fentanyl?
Yeah, and the homeless and fentanyl out in like California. Yeah, yep.
But here's the thing: we have to
big issue.
Man in the arena, as always. When you come to New York, let's work together to get you some visibility. Not the 4 hour one, because I'm not even sitting through that, but the manipulation or the interaction of the 1 hour, and really, I certainly would like to see and hear the 4 hour, but this is a must do.
Yeah, Brian, anything on the calendar where you foresee yourself in New York?
I'm working on 2026. No, DC is probably the closest. I'll be there in either January or February. But I'll make that happen. I always enjoy coming to the Big Apple, so we'll make that happen.
Well, maybe he's too. Ben's in DC, and he's on the
Dr. Ben Carson.
What is he?
You call him Ben?
I know.
Ben.
Was it? Look at me, right? That's hysterical that I just said that. I feel embarrassed.
Dr. B,
my buddy Ben. Yeah. But we could reach out to him.
We have friends in high places.
He's in the wellness world.
And Bobby Kennedy
great
too.
Voice.
Does the
I don't know
administration-
Bob. I know Ben.
Do they have any? Do they have eyes? I'm sure they do have eyes on this crisis at the highest levels in the government.
Oh, absolutely. And, DEA under the leadership of Terry Cole has been, they've been really knocking it out of the park. I mean, they've just been doing some incredible work, and I'm still well connected with DEA. I'm on the board of directors for the Agents Association and have a lot of friends there. And they've been very supportive of me as well.
We got to get that story that the poor girl took part of a pill so she could study and died. So I think that's where Ben would help us in using his network of education to get this simple message. It's sorry, kid, you can't do anything anymore. I don't know what to tell you. It's not a moral or ethical issue. You could be gone like a choking death. 4 minutes, done.
30 years in law enforcement, I've never seen a drug more impactful. Never seen a drug.
We heard a lot of people say that.
Gotta help.
It's unbelievable what's going on with this fentanyl.
But let's talk. Let's do that. Obviously, New York, and reach out,
and we'll do more electronically.
Ben down
the miracle
in DC.
Of the connection that we make.
We go to DC. The first guy see the VA.
Garrett Bess.
Yeah, see the VA guy, and maybe Ben could help us get this message into a bigger format.
We'll make it happen.
He's a wellness
together. It's a team. Together,
appreciate the help. That's awesome.
Well, both of these look, they're both fairly
more.
simple. The first one is you watch a video when you leave the military to prepare you for the fog that's going to hit you.
Right.
This one is pretty simple. You unfortunately No more fun. You can't do it. It's not. It's black and white.
Those days are gone.
2 milligrams and you got.
Well, the war on drugs has been going on forever, and the problem with it is a friend of mine who's won awards and runs addiction centers said every time things get a little better, they stop putting the resources and the money into it, and another drug pops up. So it's late 70s. Then it calmed down for a while. Then late 80s. Then crack, and now this. It's like you have to have the funds all the time, even when things are good. You have to stay on top.
But the silver lining to this is, you're gone.
Yeah,
like there's no playtime's over.
Yeah.
The 70s, the 80s, whatever.
Like he said, I've never seen a drug affect
right
in 30
the last
years.
2 years.
30 years in the field. Well, Brian Townsend, we thank you so much. This won't be the last time we speak.
And you were a Delaware Blue Hen, right?
No, that's just the color. No, I went to college in Missouri.
Oh, okay.
So what are you?
I read the wrong
turtle,
bio.
a blue hen?
It's
What do
actually
you
a
mean?
lion. I was a lion.
Yeah, there we go.
Jayhawk.
You can eat the
This is
turtle.
the important stuff we need to
Oh, the
cover
turtles are
tonight.
the worst. We go for a head.
Brian Townsend of Eagle 6 Training, and only 2 milligram that will kill you.
Good man.
Thanks so
good
much. We
job,
appreciate
man.
you.
Thanks for your service, and we'll help best we can. Let's hook that up.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.
All
And
right, buddy.
Have a great night.
thank you.
And we'll be back with more in the arena, including Mr. 3000 with some
Yay!
groundbreaking news. You cracked 5,000, buddy.
Yes, we did. We did.
And as they point out, it's more than that.
Ben Carson here with a potentially life-saving message. I may be a retired neurosurgeon, but trying to help save lives is something I'll never stop doing. Every year, this world loses around 5,000 lives that could have been saved from choking accidents. That's why I've partnered with LifeVac, a company based right here in the USA. It's simple to use, can be used on adults and children, plus it's guaranteed for life. Most importantly, if you ever have to use it in an emergency, they replace it for free. Join me on my mission to ensure every home, business, restaurant, and school in this country has a LifeVac. Go to thelifevac.net and order your very own life-saving device today. Thank you.
Welcome back in the arena, guys. I was about to say I will turn this show around if you guys can't keep quiet.
That's right.
We
Coming out of
need
the commercial
Ryan.
breaks.
We recreate all this work. We have to mandate that he's here so we can make him do all this stuff.
Yes,
'Cause
yes.
he's perfect.
Timekeeper.
Last show we gave it to him. It was done by the time we
It's
got
fantastic.
off the show.
It's a very efficient young man.
Poor guy.
So we mentioned that we've cracked a barrier, 5,000 lives saved, 3,000 children. And each week we talk to Mr. 3000, 2,000 lives ago. Just those that are reported. Mr. 3000, Ray Priebe.
Hey, good evening, LifeVackers. How we doing tonight?
What's up, Ray?
Oh, man, it is a great day. Let's come. Okay, first of all, Arthur Lee, congratulations.
That's
Over 5,000 lives reported
Yes.
lives
Yeah,
saved.
man.
I mean, 5,000 people saved. That's 25,000 people saved.
Right.
I mean, let's think about it. 4 or 5 people per family, minimum.
What if
So
one
you're
becomes
looking at
president?
25,000 people ballparking that you saved the misery of losing somebody.
Well, it was you were one of the first people to reach out, and I know from spending time with you and doing events, and we're gonna go do another one. I can't wait. That it hit you.
It did.
It hit you because when you say Maya, you didn't know you were Mr. 3000. You just were grateful you saved your child, and ever since then, every time you talk, I know I see you. You feel.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And I kind of had a moment like you were there again, right? 3,000,
Absolutely.
5,000, and thank God we got you for 3,000 because you're helping us save the 5,000.
And he's starting
You
to
could have
pull
been
for 6,000.
2,999. And we wouldn't have-
Exactly. And even conversations I've had with other parents, at the get together for the 3,000 state, I talk to other fathers who, they struggle when they tell the story.
Tim
It's
White.
tough.
Tim
Yeah.
White from Chicago.
Yeah.
I know you
Yep.
guys were spending some time at the 3,000 lives. Saved
Marine
Park.
and firefighter. You're not gonna find-
Absolutely. And again, it's different. It's different when you're looking at your loved one who could possibly die. You know, it's definitely tough. But again, here we are. We got some great numbers.
Well, what do you got?
We got a great highlight this week. Bobby, do we have a display, Bobby?
Bobby, we have a display which I'll read for those listening at home.
Wow, this is looking good. Wow.
3,043 children, 5,014 total lives saved. Oh, yeah.
We didn't have a time to barely say 5,000. We're at 5,014.
I'm saying, when's the pool for 6,000? I want in.
Yeah.
It's absolutely. I mean, let's think about it. You know, I'm Mr. 3,000, and in October 20th of 2024 is when, you know, I saved my daughter. 396 days ago.
Wow.
2,014 people.
So we're gonna get 6,000.
That's how many have been saved since Maya got saved.
Since 3,000, yes, since Maya was saved. 396 days, 2,014 people have reported being saved.
Hey, you know what we got to do here?
We're gonna hit 6,000.
You got to set this up.
Here's an assignment.
Because we're coming up on double.
Yes.
Right?
Double
From when
3,000,
she was
6,000,
saved, right?
yeah.
So you got to come up with some
Contest?
thing, something that you kind of monitored. We don't even want to know.
June 7th.
He's writing it down.
6,000 happens.
Ray is writing it
Tell
down.
right
I
now.
can't wait for Ray to
Sharpen your pencils.
2014 since Maya, which was
Yeah.
great. So we're on our way to double Mr. 3,000. Maybe the guy will be twice as tall as you. That's not hard.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
you know, and probably twice as taller than you.
Now that's offside.
You didn't even get that. That was the first time I busted your chops.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember. You were getting some makeup put on, I believe.
Oh, right back at
That's
you.
not nice.
Yeah, face made for radio, folks.
Yeah, baby. Stick with radio.
All right. Let's get to the highlight of the week because it's a good one.
Highlight of the week.
Well, first
On Monday, the 17th, so this past Monday, we saved our 5,000. Number 5,000 life was saved at Pickled Herrings Restaurant in Englishtown, New Jersey, where a 40-year-old male choked on a sandwich while having lunch. The food caused total blockage of his airway. We are a restaurant, and I've had issues in the past with choking. When the gentleman showed signs that he was choking, another customer began attempting the Heimlich with no avail. The LifeVac worked the very first time. The patrons applauded. It was truly amazing. This device is truly amazing. I'm ordering 4 to give to all of my family members. I've administered the Heimlich several times. Nothing works like this. We purchased the EMS kit, the wall mount, and a choking poster, and keep it at the waitress station where it's easily accessible. This device is remarkable.
Now, Ray, this show goes across the country, as you know. Are we able to share the name of the restaurant?
Yeah.
Yes. The restaurant is
Pickles and something in Jersey.
It was Pickled Herring in Englishtown, New Jersey.
Now, what I know,
Wow.
these guys are into it. They're very enthusiastic.
Oh, they're going to be all
very
part
grateful, and they're in Jersey. Now, Joe, I contacted Joe Piscopo because he's like us. He's on the countdown.
They should do a commercial. That'd be a good commercial
yeah,
for these
we
guys.
could. And so he immediately says, "Come on the air," which is so cute and sweet. So I do, and I say, Joe.
JP.
What? Yeah, not Ben.
Yeah,
This is
Benny,
Joe.
JP. Yeah.
I say, what state? What's your favorite state? We saved it, New Jersey.
Wow.
And he's a Jersey guy, so he was very excited. But it was a little God.
And again, it just shows another restaurant doing the right thing, having the equipment that they need in case of an emergency. I was traveling through Tennessee. We stopped at Top of the Rock in Tennessee, and sure enough, they had a LifeVac mounted right there next to their AED.
I love that. Anyone listening, you see a LifeVac somewhere, send us a
there.
picture, man.
Yeah,
Eat
absolutely.
there. You're going to be a little safer. So I would definitely say if it's A or B and they got a LifeVac, eat at the A.
Or travel with your LifeVac and take pictures all over the world. I
Yeah.
wanna see this at the Vatican.
Yeah.
I wanna see this everywhere. Take it with you. Send us the picture.
Like a gnome. Didn't know that that guy's taking.
I think my kid had
And you should absolutely always have your LifeVac with you, especially in cars, because that's where my daughter choked while driving home from a birthday party. So
sounds like you may have a slogan coming in here.
I think I do. Oh God, I think I have it here. LifeVac. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. The life you save could be your own, could be a family member, could be a stranger. Who knows? Just get a LifeVac. Good night and God bless.
Love you, buddy.
Wow,
Ray.
love you, Ray.
Woohoo!
Take care, guys.
6,000 before June. It'll be way before June. 1,000 more because we've had 2,000 in 300.
I feel
less
like
than 400 days.
I feel like the gambling aspect has affected your
150
thinking.
days. Hold on, 150 days.
How do we
Do the
get
math,
those?
carry the
You
three.
change one little
May.
thing and
No,
make money. Yeah.
It's like April of
Throw
May.
a curveball in the fourth inning.
My
and you
mother
get
was
money.
born April 7th. My brother was born April 14th. I'm saying April 14th.
All right.
All right.
We hope you're listening.
Donna
April
Isley
14th.
has not
6,000.
even
She's
constructed
gonna
the
kill us.
contest. Yes, she's
Kill
going to
us.
be very upset.
That's why I said Ray's
Not a leather
gotta
jacket,
do
a
it.
vest. We'll go smaller this time. Just yes, say it. Yes, exactly.
You know, we
A
talk
hat
about the
and a- hat and
number.
a doll.
We talk about the number, and someone that never gets tired of celebrating each and every save that's reported than Donna.
Yeah.
And
Oh, my
you know,
God.
of course, the
It's
rest
the
of
most
the team.
amazing thing.
But she's intimately involved with
We'd
each
save
of
a
these
million.
reports.
She'd be calling me 999. We saved a life. I'm like, yes, we do that numerous times a day.
Yeah.
But it is beautiful to maintain that because that is how important it is.
Mhm.
And you know, I was trying to grasp it, and I Googled a stadium with 5,000 people. There, if you look at
It's overwhelming.
a
yeah.
medium-sized hockey rink that's packed, that's 5,000 people.
Yeah.
That means
Including
when-
the ushers. Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah.
When you worked at the Coliseum, right?
I used to sell beers there when I was a kid.
What
Yep.
they used to put the attendance up,
Oh yeah, they sold out like every game back then. 16 something.
but they were. I remember. When did you start there? 'Cause I remember
I was there when they
seeing
were
like
good.
5,000.
Oh yeah, when they sucked in the
6,000.
90s. Yeah. Yep. But I remember one time when I just you just started this journey, it was like, hey, you're saving a lot of lives, and you pulled your phone out and go, we just saved one 15 minutes ago.
Comes
Yeah.
in.
And that's when it hit me. I was like, wow, he goes, yeah, I get it on my phone every one.
Guys, that's
Wow.
it for this week
Woohoo!
in the arena. A huge thank you to Mr. Garrett Biss, addiction
5,000.
recovery coach, and Brian Townsend of Eagle 6 Training and only2milligrams.com for sharing their insight, their experience, and their commitment to service. And we're going to be part of their service going forward. And a special thanks to our sponsor, LifeVac, the device
Yeah.
that saved over 5,000 lives around the world and
So
helping
far.
protect all people in a choking emergency. It doesn't matter what background they are.
No, it
It does
doesn't.
not care.
Save
If you
more.
enjoyed the show, be sure to follow, subscribe, and share the show with someone who lives life on the front lines. Until next time, stay ready, stay resilient, and keep stepping forward in the arena. Take it out, Mike, bro.
It's no joke when you choke, so get LifeVac and live. Without breath, there'll be death. So get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live. Get LifeVac and live.
LifeVac and live.